Today we're going to be looking at the brand new Invoke support from Chaos Origins. It's going to be extremely interesting what this is going to do to the meta, but I know a lot of these cards are going to cause a lot of issues. But let's get into it and let's talk about it. Then we're going to discuss the card design later. So first off, we have Alistister the Reminiscent. It is a level 4 Dark Spellcaster effect monster with 1800 attack and 1000 defense, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target one spellcaster or fusion monster on the field, special summon this card, and if you do, that monster gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. If this card is normaled or special summoned or flip face up, you could banish one invoked monster from your extra deck, add one invocation or a spell that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Overall, this new Alistister is really good at replacing the old one, but I would still run the old Alistister just in case if it's really needed, because it allows you to search out a copy of Invocation on normal or flip summon. But this allows you to get to your new invocation spells, which is really good. And overall, I definitely think that this is going to be a 3 of in the deck for sure. After that, we have a brand new Aiwass fusion, being Aiwass the Spirit of Law, a level 8 Wind Fiend effect monster with 2000 attack, 2800 defense, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can banish the card from your hand or field, add one Alistister monster from your deck to your hand. Then, if the effect was activated on the field, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one spellcaster monster. If a face-up fusion monsters you control is sent to the graveyard except by battle, while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Then you could fusion summon one invoked monster using monsters from your hand or field as material. Now this is really useful because it gets to any of your Alistister monsters, and if it's in the graveyard, when you activate something like Super Polymerization or they destroy your board somehow, you could just summon this back out and summon out one of your invoked fusion monsters if you do have an Alistister or a card like the Invoker, any of your Alistister monsters in your hand. So overall, really potent card, and I definitely think that this is going to be a really useful card at 2-3 copies in the deck. And with Dark Spirit Masteries, it is searchable with it, so it's a really useful card, especially there, because you could just discard a card for free. After that, we have Virakam, the Artificial Spirit. It is a level 3 Light Illusion effect monster with 1000 attack and defense, and you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you have an Alistister monster in your field or graveyard, you could special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you could set one invocation or one spell that mentions it from your deck. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your fusion monster's effect, you can banish this card from the field as a quick effect, and if you do, negate that opponent's effects, and if you do that, banish this card. It's like a mini invoked Macabre, but you don't need to discard a specific card type to negate. And overall, just getting a free summon on a body on the field is really useful, especially going to Alistister, the Invoker of Madness, and just being able to set Invocation or one of your new spells that mention it from your deck is honestly really powerful. So overall, definitely a 3 of in the deck, and a card that you'll always want to see going first in the actual deck now. We have the first fusion monster, being Invoked Sorath. It is a light level 6 Pyro Fusion effect monster with 1600 attack and 2600 defense. And it takes an Alistister monster plus a fire or wind monster. And you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During the main phase quick effect, you can target one level 6 or lower monster in the graveyard, special summon it to your field in defense position, but its effects are negated. If this card is in your graveyard, you can fusion summon one invoked fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your field and or graveyard, including this card. So most of the time you're going to be summoning out Macabre, which is honestly really powerful, or you could be summoning out the new boss monster that takes 2+ fusion monsters just to summon. But being able to have a quick effect target like a Hecahan's Godos, Bestial Monster, DD Crow is really good for level 6 or lowers because it summons it to the field, and you can use that monster that you summoned for the fusion summon if needed, but it really depends on what it is because you need to go into an invoked monster. So realistically, it's alright, and definitely one thing that we have to consider going into the future for a type of interruption. After that, we have Invoked Babalon, a brand new level 7 Illusion Fusion effect monster with 2450 attack and defense, and it takes one Alistister monster plus one light or earth monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Virakam, the artificial spirit, or magical name, Rosa Mundi, from your deck to your hand. Then you can banish one monster from either graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster you control. All face-up monsters your opponent currently controls lose attack equal to that monster's until the end of this turn. This is one of the weaker fusions from the entire wave, but it's still really useful by adding the Virakam or the Virakam, and the magical name Rosa Mundi from the deck to the hand. So you'll always have consistency adding this card to your hand or your trap card. So realistically, it's a good fusion nonetheless. Then we have Invoked Okeanos. It is going to be a card that many players are going to be complaining about. It's a level 9 Earth spell. It's a level 9 Earth Sea Surf Infusion effect monster with 3000 attack, 3000 defense, takes an Alistister monster, and a dark or water monster. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. Your opponent monsters cannot target monsters for attack while this card is in the main monster zone, except this one, and any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead while this card is in the extra monster zone. You could banish this card from your graveyard, then target one fusion monster you control. It could attack directly this turn. Now, why is this card having a way of a marauding captain-like effect where it can only target this card, but any monsters sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead? So you have a die-fi on this that's one-sided if it's in the extra monster zone. Overall, this is a really scary card, and making it on the opponent's turn is going to be a really, really bad hindrance because it does mess over decks like Dracotail, Cool Tune, and just anything that heavily relies on the graveyard. Overall, it's a really powerful fusion, and might be one of the cards that they ban in the future if it gets too out of hand. Now, here's another card that they definitely might ban in the future. Invoked Transcendence Aeon. It's a level 10 Dark Fiend fusion effect monster with 3800 attack, 2800 defense, and it takes 2+ fusion monsters with different attributes. You can only use one of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you could banish cards from the field and or graveyard up to the number of materials used. Then if you use 3 or more cards, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and banish up to 3 cards from it. So being able just to super poly away the board of all the fusion monsters on the field can net you a lot of advantage. So let's say you use 6 different fusion monsters, you're banishing 6 cards from the field and or graveyard, and then you could just get to rip 3 for free from the opponent's extra deck. So overall, it's going to be very, very powerful. And even though it takes different attributes, there will be points that there will be 6 fusion monsters with 6 different attributes on the field. If you go against Dracotail, if you go against something like Magistus, if you go against whatever other fusion deck there is. So that's going to be one thing that's going to be very scary. And then the other effect is quick effect. You could declare one attribute. All of the face-up monsters currently on the field become the attribute until the end of the turn. So this card does have Invoked Elysium compatibility, making everything into a specific attribute. So you could just Elysium, tribute light, and then banish all lights on the field. So, or you could just tribute Elysium itself and just wipe the whole entire field. So overall, it's going to be a really annoying card to go against. And they just said, you all loved Unicorn, let's triple it. This is a card design that a lot of players don't like, and they just tripled it. So we have Cool Tune doing it. We have other decks doing it like Heck a Hand, but honestly, being able to triple it is really a problem. Well, let's get into Invocation Sword. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. It's a quick play spell, and you fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control. If summoning an invoked monster, you can also use banish monsters by returning them to the graveyard. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Alistister monster or invocation in your graveyard, shuffle this card into the deck, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. So this recycles your Alistister monsters or invocation if needed. So overall, it's a really powerful card, and I definitely think this is going to be a card that will get Invoked Caligula banned in the future, because just being able to summon that on the opponent's turn by this is really an issue. Then we have Spirit Sword Aiwass. It is a normal spell, and you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Now, you activate one of these effects, and you cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn except fusion monsters. That's not even a restriction at all. Special summon one Aiwass, the Spirit of Law, from your deck or graveyard. Send to the graveyard or banish one Alistair monster from your deck, or look at 3 random face down cards in your opponent's extra deck and banish one of them. So this is going to be a very um, powerful card, depending on which one that they do, because getting Aiwass to the field is really good. Getting Alistair to the graveyard to banish is absolutely amazing, but then looking at 3 random face down cards in your opponent's extra deck to banish one of them is absolutely insane, and you can rip up to 4 cards total so far from the opponent's extra deck if you play everything right. Now, this is on a normal spell card, so it's not a quick play spell, so there is a little leeway there, but it's still really potent just by getting free knowledge, which is honestly not good card design. And then finally, we have Magical Name, Rosa Mundi. It's a normal trap card, and you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can banish one Alistair monster or fusion monster from your graveyard to special summon one invoked monster from your extra deck, ignoring the summoning conditions, but banish it when it leaves. But banish it during the end phase. If a monster has become banished face up while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, target one of your banished invoked monsters, special summon it. So just summoning back something like your Mekaba, if you banished it to fusion summon, it's just summoning out literally if you banish something off of the one of your previous cards is really good. If you banished it off of Invocation, banished it probably off of the new Alistair. So there's just a lot of things going on here, and honestly, this is a really powerful card that I definitely think players will play at least one of, maybe 2. And we also do have an alternate art being Artemis the Magistus Moon Maiden, which honestly is really beautiful, and they are doing a great job with all of this, and I can't wait to see what else they have planned for Witchcrafter, Endymion, and also Spellbook in the future. So that's going to be one thing to keep an eye out for, and also just keep things going, because we're going to see probably more stuff for Zora as well. But tell me what you think about these invoked cards. A lot of these read card design that players don't like. But anyways, I've been BoltSpider. See you guys in the next video, and goodbye. Thank you all for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the bell to get notified whenever I upload. I would also like to thank FGH for supporting the channel through the channel memberships, as it's only 99 cents a month, and you can also join my Discord server, which is down in the description of every video that I post. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and goodbye.